Are you all seated very comfortably? Yeah? I ask again, are you seated very comfortably? Yes? Now, I'm not talking about your body on the chair. Well, we are very fortunate, no? Baba has provided very comfortable chairs for the body, but I am asking, are you seated comfortably here on your seat or throne? Because when body is comfortably seated, then you can concentrate better, and you can also remain still for quite a while. But if body is not comfortable, then no, you keep moving. So in the same way, when soul is not seated comfortably on the throne, we do use in the center of forehead, but actually it's within, no, it's inside. So soul needs to sit comfortably, and to sit comfortably, soul has this thought that I am seated on a throne. And then it becomes very, very easy to be quiet and to be still. So as soon as we sit, first thought we should have, create a posture where or the way you will be comfortable. And that posture which we create is the posture actually of what Baba calls it as the stage. Now stage has two meanings, no? One is stage as platform, stage. And other stage is you as a being, as we call it, state of mind. But Baba uses here word stage, no? Not state of mind. So there are two stages. But this is more creating that bodiless stage. Now what is to be bodiless? Why I need to be bodiless? I know that some of the points which were shared this morning, I think we all could feel from atmosphere that everyone was practicing. No? Were you feeling the energy in the campus? It was different because everyone was practicing. But like three words which I know sometimes we like to know the difference between is what is soul consciousness, what is seed form stage, and what is bodiless stage. So what you actually were practicing in the morning is soul consciousness. I am point of light and energy. I am peaceful in my nature. Also, I am immortal. The introduction or the definition or whatever knowledge Baba has given about the soul, when we practice those points, when we think about those points, to give that experience to the self. Now that is called stage of soul consciousness. And as much you practice a stage of soul consciousness, then it becomes easy for you to sit as seed. Just become like point of light and energy And the thought is that I am seed. And I think I had mentioned before too that when you think I am seed, then I have to keep filling, keep the seed, make the seed full with love, full with peace, full with knowledge. That means still you have in the beginning some thoughts where you sustain, you nourish the seed. But bodiless stage is the result of these two practices. Bodiless stage is the experience that if you had been practicing soul consciousness, if you had been sitting and practicing seed form stage of soul consciousness can be practiced anytime, all the time. Seed form stage is when you sit and there is total concentration. Total concentration is required. But when Baba says that you should be able to become bodiless within 1 second, that means the stage which you have created, you have to emerge that stage. Now I will take that how the practice of soul consciousness will create 4 different experiences mainly. And those experiences or those attainments, because experiences are not just feelings, but experience also is what I attained, what I received, isn't it? So when you have those experiences, they are your attainments. And as much you have attainment, you can use that attainment to be in that stage. Like, so one thing is like practice of soul consciousness helps you to become bodiless. When we want to experience bodiless stage, one method definitely is to sit and experience. But actually when Baba says you will need it more and more, I don't know how many of you have tried, but when there is pain in body, it's really the bodiless stage which is required. And in that bodiless stage, that means, now what you will say, what is that bodiless stage? That means you're looking at your own body. I am soul, this is my body. So it's like you are separate, or you are detached. Separate doesn't mean that, I'm not in the body, I'm in the body, but just I'm seated here, I'm looking at on my body, and from this energy, from the power of the soul, I give those vibrations to the body. It really works like radiation from the soul. Or like you are in a situation where there is danger, or situation of violence. If you really become bodiless at that time, so when you're becoming bodiless, then some or other, they won't be able to see your body. Or their mind will change. And because of your stage of being bodiless, it's such a pure and powerful stage, that those who have come with the negative thought, their mind will change. Like like when people look at police or someone get nervous, they might feel nervous, they don't know what to do now. It will confuse them. And you will not have any fear. Or sometimes for settling karmic accounts also. Like someone sits and keeps saying things to you, which you know are not correct. It's not truth. Not only that, but sometimes it's like really lot of criticism in that. And if you really become bodiless, when I say bodiless here is you are detached, and you are like an observer. You're listening, but still like as if this is not for me, this is not worth for me to take it. I have to settle karmic accounts. I'm not going to respond the same way the soul is saying things. I'm not going to say a single word. It's not only a question of tolerating at that time. But if you just say that, like I have nothing to interact here. So it's like you go inside and you are seated in your little cave inside and you are just looking, you are just listening. The feeling really is like sitting in the cave and looking through the windows of eyes. And that is where the stage comes of that you are not only detached, but you are detached observer. Brahma Baba is, for me, what 2 years of my experience with Brahma Baba before he became angelic, angel was really this stage of that he used to walk around, talking, doing everything, but you could just feel that he's doing from somewhere far, he's not here. Like there are some souls, they have to say little and they will keep going on, like describe so much. So he can't say stop it, no? So Baba will listen, but you could feel that he's far, he's not here. In the sense he's so detached. And I have that experience because then he will say, child, I understood in 1 second what you had to say. In the courtyard, why courtyard of Madhuban is so popular? Many times during day, while going to kitchen for playing, we are now the Tower of Peace. You will see he walks around, he's looking. But what we used to experience from him is light coming to us. Power coming to us is like lighthouse, mighthouse. Walking, talking, lighthouse and mighthouse. Moving lighthouse and mighthouse. That means that light and power. So this is like staying in that stage while doing actions. Now this stage can be practiced even when you're eating food. Tonight when you eat dinner, I think you remember that Baba in Murli says that Baba sometimes, Brahma Baba had this consciousness that this is Shiv Baba's chariot. Even Shiv Baba is not there when chariot is being fed. But Baba always used to eat like little. Baba is feeding the chariot of God. So even it was a simple action of giving food to the body, but the consciousness. So in the same way, while eating, yes, I'm feeding this body. Because it's an interesting question, who eats, soul or body? Soul eats? Soul needs food? Yeah? No? Can body eat? So soul is in the body. So soul is like feeding body. Like you live in the house, so you have to clean the house and you cook there. You do everything. So your attitude towards the body is a chariot or is a vehicle. Your attitude towards the body is, okay, it's a costume. Because I have to play part through this body. So it's like a right kind of attitude towards the body. And soul is doing actions, even if it's towards the body, but there is no attachment, there is no, like you won't say, well, whether I should do this or not. That question won't arise. So I feel that if we maintain this stage while doing actions, then the others will have experience from us of this light and might. So in that lot of, like if somebody, I remember someone said, when Sister, when you have to call, you have to think. Few times I said, why? You could call me, why you have to think? So because I have to sort out before calling. So I said, why you need to sort out? I could help you to sort out. I said, no, I know. I have to sort out and then make a call. In the sense of if I have to, like sometimes you are in confusion, you don't know what to ask, no? Because they, when people start knowing each other, they know that how you like to communicate. When there is clarity, it's very good communication, but when there is confusion, what could be the communication? So even the bodiless stage can be used for settling of karmic accounts, as I said, in situation, in pain, in relationships. And most important thing is that when you really want to serve souls, Baba talks about service through the mind. Now it's only when you are in bodiless stage that you are able to reach, your thoughts are able to reach other souls. You get that bodiless stage, and as lighthouse and might house, you keep sending these vibrations. Why do I need bodiless stage? Because of these benefits. And then this is how the elements also become pure. Because this body also has to be, even, okay, we are renounced and we don't have vices, but still elements are impure, no? So through bodiless stage, you purify in elements. And you feel from your body the vibrations of purity. So I use bodiless stage for many different purposes, Not only just sit and be bodiless, but to have that, like within a second to be bodiless really means as you practice this morning, or as much you practice soul consciousness. Now that practice, the accumulation of that practice, like when you learn to drive, then car should have good brakes, but then you should also know how to use the brakes, no? And when you have good practice, then you just get car stopped at the right moment, at the right time, at the right place. Sometimes even if you go little like this and hit someone, it's an accident, isn't it? Even little bit, you say, no, it was not much, it's not I crashed, but it could be scratch. We still call accident, isn't it? So same is like bodiless states. The moment you want it, and if you're not able to create it, but how can you create at that time? There are some people, they need salt, right? So they never have, there are a lot of people, they don't have things in stock, So they run to the store for salt. And then they notice in the evening there is no sugar. Then they run to the store for sugar. Next morning they open the fridge, oh, there is no milk. And then by midday they say, oh, I forgot about salad stuff now. So you keep running to the store for getting things. How much time, energy is gone. So when Baba talks about accumulation, accumulation is practice. Every thought about soul consciousness is accumulated, through which you emerge bodiless stage. So what will be the experience? As I said, that feeling of being very, very detached, but also because you are using body, so you can be detached observer and you can be a very loveful actor. Because when you are acting, you need to be very loveful. But when you are observing, you have to be detached. While observing, when you become loveful, you forget your part. And when it is time to act, then you don't know what to do. So anyway, you have to be, you can't be detached even. No? So these two qualities of, when you are bodiless, then detach in attitude, detach when you're seeing things, everything from that stage. And very lovely when you have to act. Whether you are thinking or speaking or doing actions. Bodiless stage is the stage where the fullness is experienced. Because when Baba also talks about complete, that your stage should be complete. Is it 80%, 70%, 60%? But we have to become 100%, isn't it? So when you want to be bodiless, you start seeing that I still need 20%, I still need 30%, because you don't feel that fullness inside. And that's where then we need to practice more. Because in bodiless stage, when you experience that fullness, that means soul is experiencing two main things. One is your original stage. What is my original stage? When I was in the incorporeal world, or when I'm about to go to incorporeal world. When I'm in incorporeal world, I want to know, what's my stage. But when you say, okay, now I have to go home. Let's say for a few moments I say, I have to go home. But in home I need to be in my original stage, or eternal stage you can call it. So bodiless stage gives you experience of your eternal, natural qualities. Eternal stage, eternity or immortality. And second, it's only in bodiless stage you also experience your stage of perfection. Because if I do not experience stage of perfection, even for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, how can I suddenly be perfect? So your eternal stage and your stage of perfection, that experience comes when you are in bodiless stage. So, as I said, it could be one moment you create it, and there are times you stay in bodiless stage. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, as long you can stay. And when you are staying in bodiless stage, these two beautiful experiences I always get is that I really feel eternally like I'm full. Loveful, peaceful, blissful, like full. And second thing, as I said, what you start seeing is that beauty. Perfection really means some kind of that, of course, purity, but very deeply you feel how beautiful you are. Because after completion we experience perfection. So it's fullness, but also perfection. And I think for Baba's children, now it is really important to experience both stage, eternal stage and your stage of perfection. Because some think that bodiless stage is like, I'm not here, I'm somewhere else. Actually, in bodiless stage, you are really here. But you are in that stage of perfection. So you are not same, isn't it? You know, you are not in your ordinary stage, so you are not same. You feel you are so different. So the first thing is, as I said, what will happen is detach and lovely with your own self, not only with others. We only think of attachment with others, but we never think of how detached I can be from my body. Many souls come and say, oh, I have attachment, I have attachment. And we make so much effort and sometimes allow that suffering to happen only because I want to be detached. But if you are detached from body, you won't have attachment with anyone's body. It will be pure love. Because if you become detached and you do not share pure love, you will be nowhere. No? I'm only detached, but I don't experience or share pure love, spiritual love. Then I will be empty, isn't it? It's like someone has made me supportless. Like you will feel I have nowhere to go, no one to belong to. That kind of feeling comes from detachment. But true detachment really means change into spiritual love. That means even for your own self, for your own body, it's a different kind of feelings. It's the pure love which you have. Because when attachment is changed with pure spiritual love, you don't feel empty. You will never feel like, separate or isolated or lonely. Because your heart is so much full with spiritual love, so much feelings, and there is still no fear of getting attached. Because if you just get detached is more like cut off, no? But we don't want to cut off, we want pure relationships. So bodiless stage really helps you to understand that concept. Because when I am detached from my body, then what is my relationship with body? So I am detached from each one of you, but then what is my relationship with you? And then when Baba says that we must be able to give experience to others, that you can only do when you are in bodiless state. You sit in bodiless stage, and in a very loving way you give drishti or not give drishti, but just be there. Within few seconds other souls will have experience. So whether we practice it, not necessarily when you're sitting in meditation. I like bodiless stage very much like if I am sitting few minutes in the room or I'm free few minutes, then I say let me practice bodiless stage. Not necessarily it's the time for meditation that I have to practice bodiless stage, but it should be done few minutes whenever you have time during the day. Because bodiless stage also helps you then to experience your angelic stage. Because you have to feel that you are able to touch your angelic stage, no? Before others can see, I should be able to see, isn't it, my angelic form. It's a translation from word ashariri to bodiless actually. But there are so many bodiless beings in the world, right? But it's not we want to be like that, no? So for bodiless, really the word more is angelic. The process is bodiless, that means getting detached. Now that's really the process. But when you are becoming bodiless, you are becoming lighthouse, mighthouse. When you are becoming bodiless, then what is visible is just your image of, not maybe necessarily light, maybe of love, of purity, of courage, of any quality. So then everyone, whether you are at work, anywhere, people start relating to you with your quality. They don't care what you are in the sense of physical way. You enter in the room, they feel everything is smiling. You enter, they feel everything has become light. You enter, they feel it became so pleasant. Everything is becoming so easy. Now that is like angelic stage. So we should always remind ourselves that bodiless stage is the result of the practice of soul consciousness. And bodiless stage is actually your angelic stage. And I find that those who practice bodiless stage, as I said, their attitudes are very, very like, it's very selfless attitude. Because if you are attached to body, that's body consciousness, or attached to your body, then it's always you first think of yourself, isn't it? You can't be selfless. Or you can't be total honest. It's not like sometimes Baba says, you all keep some pocket money of vices for yourself. Why we keep pocket money? Because of body consciousness, no? So you can't be free from desires even. But as much you are becoming full with spiritual love, full with qualities as an angel, then you also become free from desires. And as much we become selfless and free from desires, your thought, every thought will work. You don't have to think too much, but whatever you think is going to happen. Yesterday we were at Talhati, Shantivan, we went, and after lunch, that is, we were just waiting for transport and they called us, so we were sitting around and I said, I have one thought, Dadi Gulzar. So all Dadis looked, what's she going to say? I said, just meet Baba's all children in Madhuban and here before you leave, because they won't see you. So all Dadis looked at, what you saying, she's leaving tomorrow and you're making such a... I said, very lightly, she said yes. I was really surprised. She fixed evening class there, morning she came here. Just one thought. And I was thinking, because when there is deeper within, that selflessness, that purity, that love, then one thought can, the way everyone started looking like as if I said something, I still, okay, if it happens well and good, if it doesn't. But I find this is how now our stage should be. With one thought, task get accomplished. So soul consciousness is I am point of light and energy, but that is more like a still stage. But bodiless stage, as I say, is more like lighthouse. Not only point of light and energy, but you are lighthouse. And it's only in bodiless stage, actually, like I know that when I really, some mornings I sit and I say, I want to understand or feel what is truth. Truth is a word which generally we say this one speaks truth, this one is truthful. We always take in a very gross way. But truth really means to understand one's own self in a true way. True way in the sense of like now I know the truth, like that kind of feeling comes. Bodiless stage can help you to understand truth, to understand even purity. Absence of vices is not only purity, no? That is why we have one stage viceless, other stage is all virtuous. Many will become viceless, but all will not become all virtuous. Or when Baba talked about 16 celestial degrees, so it's not just viceless. So why Baba wants us to experience this stage more and more, so that we can reach to our final stage. And also, as I said, it has so much power that we will need it more and more. Let's say if you are sitting in a meeting, at work or at center, and you find that people are talking longer and going roundabout, you can practice your bodiless stage there. That's what I do. I'm listening, I know, they just, but interesting thing is, you are there, you are part of everything, but your direction is very clear inside. So I practice it a lot when I'm in meetings, or when I find, like sometimes souls become so extrovert. And you can't say why you are extrovert. You are there and you're part of everything. You just become bodiless. I'm giving you that these are the timings really. In practical we have to use bodiless stage, not only in the morning. Morning is for creating. But when Baba says within a second you should be able to be bodiless, within a second you should be able to be bodiless, what it means? That you are emerging that stage. I just want to be bodiless. But you have to, many times during the day, especially while doing actions, interaction, you should do it more and more. So it's soul consciousness, then is the seed form stage, and then is bodiless stage, or your angelic stage, or stage of perfection. When we talk, like Baba also talks of silence, like tomorrow will be day of silence, but it is from then bodiless stage the experience changes into experience of total silence. Total silence really means that your mind and intellect, both abilities, Baba gives example of turtle, that they are folded within. They are merged. Mind is there, intellect is there, but quiet. That means that feeling is there, being conscient, you are living. But both the abilities are merged. So bodiless stage also leads you towards natural experience of silence. And for me, experience of silence is not only when I am not talking, but during whole day, like after every few hours or sometimes few minutes, I find inside there is so much silence. Because as much you need to think, you think, then there is silence. You don't have to keep thinking. Because what you have thought, you have to give power to give those thoughts, so that those thoughts can be accomplished. But if you keep thinking, now if I say I need determination, so I keep repeating, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. That's not determination. But just have thought and then be silent and feel power in that thought. So that thought will have power. Remaining silent brings power in your own thoughts. So silent is not just being free from thoughts, but silence really is bringing power in your thoughts. Any situation, any circumstances, use this method. In the sense of when you are bodiless, that means you are also in silence. So when you are in silence, you are erasing so much, erasing and creating, erasing and creating. What I need to erase? Now we have tape recorder. When we want to erase from the cassette, what we do? We play it. But what we do is silent. It's playing. You don't notice anything, but it's being erased. So deeply within, erasing is important of the past, but also creating. So I would suggest to keep 4 things in the mind for your experience. The first one, as I said, detach and lovely. Not think of detach and lovely with others, with your own self. Detach from your body, look at your own body as an observer. Use your sense organ as a detached. Using hand, but not with attachment, with eyes looking. And secondly, to experience your eternal and stage of perfection. Eternal stage and stage of perfection. And the third important thing is use it more and more for settling and giving light and might to others. Because if any soul is in bondage, that soul also needs liberation. So let me give light and might. If you are not able to give light and might, soul not going to leave you. It will keep coming in the mind. So I say, why are you coming to me? Okay, take some light, take might, go. But if you just say, go, go, then again soul keeps coming back. No, take light, take might and go. So let's make our stage of moving lighthouse. No? Not only light and might, but lighthouse. Lighthouse means that's what you keep giving all the time. And practice, as I said, practice is soul consciousness, but the stage is bodiless. Generally we will say stage of soul consciousness, but soul consciousness is practice, consciousness. But what is created from that consciousness is bodiless state. Then what is created out of light and might is your angelic form. What is created out of purity is your stage of perfection. So bodiless stage is finally like, I have achieved this is what I am becoming that. An experiment like tomorrow or even until tonight while eating food, when you are sleeping, especially you lie down in the bed and you say, okay, the body is resting and I am soul. It's like, bodiless. As I said, there shouldn't be fear, or this shouldn't be thought bodiless means, I am free from body. No. I have to be bodiless to make my elements pure and to become perfect. It's clear? Anyone has any question? We have 2-3 minutes before we... But do few times, then it will become clear. At least few concepts you will be able to own, in the sense of you will feel that yes, I own them now. No question. But is it clear, right? Stage means your attainment and your experience which you emerge from the practice of soul consciousness and seed form stage. Right? So now we have Ratan Mohini Dadi will conduct meditation for all of us. Om Shanti.
खुशियों से भरा